how do I know whether a guy really likes me? How do I know, how to keep a man? What would you tell your daughter? Would y'all give them free game, or will y'all kind of be hesitant?
Oh yeah, I think that the gaming up process, especially for our daughters, it starts long before college. Because if you're trying to game her up, when she gets to college, you're competing with a nigga on the basketball team, and you're gonna lose. You know what I'm saying? He gonna have her ear. So I feel like the gaming up process, for my daughter, is gonna happen throughout time, and hopefully, as she begins to spread her wings and fly off of my porch at whatever age that is, I want to feel good about the things that I've made her hip to, in a sense, because it's only so much I can control.
So give me 2 things you'll give her hip to. I want to ask, what would you actually tell her?
I think
about a man.
One thing for sure is to go off of action. As men, especially when we were younger, we'd tell a woman anything. Mm-hmm. Literally anything. You could be in a dead relationship. You single? Yeah. You want me to be? I'm single. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so I would tell her to definitely, the one thing anyway, is to go off a man's actions. If it's nothing for a man to tell you, I really want to take you on a date, and then maybe we can go out and do this and go out and do that. And like, yeah, it's cool. That shit sounds great, my nigga. It sounds amazing. Mm-hmm. But 6 months have gone past since he told you that. Has he taken you on a date? Or has this nigga only text you after 12 a.m.? Mm-hmm. And so I would tell her, just go off a man's actions.
What is she messing with a professional? Like a dude who got the money and resources, but just kind of...
My mom was kind of overdoing it with being on my side, because a lot of times I was bullshitting. I was on straight bullshit, and she would still ride for me though. Yeah. But it was...
Not my baby.
You're right. Mm-hmm. But she also wasn't that attentive to what I was doing at school. And she was younger. So she had a lot of learning and growing to do herself. And so whenever things did arise, trouble I would have in school, she would take my side. Yeah, that lady just don't like him. Or that, this teacher. And shit, I play into it. Cause like, yeah, man, you right.
We as kids, we ain't dumb. Yeah, and my mama kind of took the same approach as well. Not really gonna just let anybody say nothing about her kid, cause in their mind they know you more than anybody. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So if a teacher is saying something about your character that they don't see or they've never seen before, they gonna take it with a grain of salt. Like, my son wouldn't do that. My daughter wouldn't do that. That ain't how my kid operate. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just don't like my child or something. Or in their head, you just don't like my child. Or in something where I correct it when we get home or something like that. But they never really do, because they don't believe that you really is that kid anyway.
Mm-hmm. My dad was
but my dad.
Why you talking back to your teeth? I'm like, my dad wasn't on that.
My dad really wasn't on that either though. Like both of my parents were real protective in the sense. You know what I'm saying? They gonna take their child or their kid's word before they take the teacher's word, unless it was one of the kids that were always just into stuff. Like, your kids. Like, one of my sisters was one of the ones that was, you know what I'm saying? She's the one that's gonna go to beat her own drum, in a sense. Can't just tell her what to do and she's gonna fall in line.
I think
my parents knew that.
Right.
So, okay, if they do say something about her, she probably did do it.
Right.
I think my issue was that I was a real bad at elementary school, but when I grew up to middle school, it was almost like I was paying for what I did in elementary school. Where it's just like, I'm grown now. Like, I'm kind of becoming, how can I say, more of my own leader. Yeah. Where it was just like, damn, it's like, am I going to suffer for my sins from when I was 5 through 10? Like I'm like, that's the whole thing I ain't like, where it was just like, my dad was like, you did it in the past, where it's like, I can't change my future. Like, am I always going to be in this light with you? Like, so does it matter if I do good? Like, what is it? Yeah. And that used to really bother me when I was younger. But also, I feel like I can't really get mad at them, because I feel like I would have been where I am today if it wasn't for that correction. So it's like one hand and another. No,
I didn't really have that type of discipline. Probably could remember like one whooping that I had a stepfather when I was like maybe 4th or 5th grade or something. and I must have cursed out the teacher she was the bus lady, but she was like getting all the kids on the bus at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I must have cursed her out or something, and he whooped me when I got home, and I felt so betrayed by my mama because I don't know this nigga for real. You know what I'm saying? I just met this nigga when I moved to St. Louis, which I don't really know this nigga. And then from that point on, you know, our relationship, it tweaked a little bit, you know, and that's the only real whooping I could really remember. And then from, like I told you last time we spoke, shit, about 12, 13, sure enough, 14, I could do whatever I wanted to do. I ain't had no bedtime. I didn't have to go to school if I didn't want to. My grandmother was 80 years old. That's who I lived with. She'd be in bed by 7:30, 8 o'clock. So I could do anything I wanted to do. The only reason I really ever went to school because all my friends went to school. And we didn't have much food and shit. So sometimes I couldn't wait to get to school just to eat. You know what I mean? And so I didn't really have that disciplinary figure, like I say, after about 12 or 13. And I was kind of off the porch at that point. But due to the friend group that I had from middle school on up, you know, it was cool to be smart. You know what I'm saying? We wanted to be on the sports teams and all that and hear our names over the intercoms and, you know, at the top of the week saying what we did at the game Friday or whatever. So things like that helped me kind of stay on the right track. But yeah, as far as like with parents and how they would interact with my teachers and stuff at school, that kind of faded out after about like right when I hit middle school. It kind of faded away.
You see, my whole change was about ninth grade. I ain't gonna lie, I was wilding. Even though I said I wasn't wild in middle school, everybody was wilding more than me. It was like it was pretty like much like a zoo in my school.
You talking about in middle school?
In middle school, it was pretty much like a zoo. But I knew in like high school, like when I really got serious with football, like I think like my coaches kind of became that disciplinary figure and shit like that. Like my dad, he will still correct me, but it was like I was at sports 24/7, so it was like if you fuck up, you gotta do gassers, you gotta do 3-legged bear crawl, you know, all this type of bullshit where you just like, damn, you don't like I don't want to get in trouble with my coaches at this point.
Right.
They kind of filled in those gaps where it was like, all right, you know, I had older parents, and even though my dad could probably step in, like he was still like, you know, 50, you know what I'm saying? At the time, you don't really got that much gas in your tank like you used to with your kids and things like that. So I always tell my sisters, like, when your kids get to an age, like just make sure that you know what they really enjoy and control that. Because I said I enjoyed football, and if you take that away from me, I would have been very upset. You know what I'm saying? So I did everything in my power where it came to good grades, come to like behaving in class, just so I could play football.
Right.
Let me ask you this though. Just because you just said your dad was in like around 50 or in his 50s, didn't have no gas in the tank, you don't have kids right now.
Mm-hmm.
So that could very well be you.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Well, I accepted the fact that I'm gonna be an older parent, you know, 'cause I still want kids. And it's funny because I have so many tough conversations with my sister. Cause I tell them what I'm going to do, and they be like, "You don't have a kid yet. You don't know what you're going to do till you have your own kid."
That's true too.
Facts.
And it's like I said I don't, but I said that's why I had these conversations so I can kind of shape my parenting method. And I don't want to be the parent that's going to whip my kid at. I don't think I can really do the belt with my kid. Period. I might, you know, do a pop, you know, here and there. I probably be on that type of time. But I know for a fact it might sound bad, I'm a instill fear early. Like I feel like when you like kind of
You definitely gotta set the tone.
when
you
you
gotta set the tone.
you have to start off strict and then get easier as the years go on, rather than you just be, oh, my kid can do whatever, and then try to get strict as they get older, because I feel like that's going to just backfire on you.
Yeah, the habits already set.
It already set. So for me, it's like I'm gonna be very strict, probably like they first 10 or 12 years, and as they gain my trust, like I'm gonna let go of the reins more and more, because I feel like that's a proper way how to raise a kid. Even with my management stuff. I remember when I was when we was in Cape Girardeau, I was a steakhouse manager at the Isle Casino.
Mm-hmm.
Like I first got there, the head Chef Ray, he was just like, "Yo, you got to be hard with them. Don't play around with them, right?" So I was hard. He was like, "These are the people who are the bad eggs. Be hard on them." So I was like very strict, and it's funny because I work with Ant from St. Louis, the singer.
Oh, and Crawford.
And Crawford. So, you know, I work with Ant, and, you know, a lot of times Ant would try to try me because he was like, "Yo, you might, like, we boys." I'm just like, "You know, I'm your boy, I'm your boss. Like, I got to still hold a standard."
Yeah.
So I will bump heads with a lot of them because I will hold their feet to the fire. And I remember And it was a funny one time my host, she told me, she was like, nobody here like you, right? I was just like personally, I didn't give a damn, but also I was just like, damn, like nobody ever just said that so direct to me, like yeah, nobody here like you. And I read this book. It was a short book called like A 1 Minute Manager, and it was like, yo, it's easier to be a hard manager and become a soft manager than to be a soft manager than become a hard manager. Yeah. Because when you become hard, they're gonna be like, yo, this not even you. Like you're not even like this. You know what I'm saying? So when I heard that, I started kind of redirecting my management style to kind of let go of the reins a little bit and just be more, how can I say, personable to my staff. And they respected me more because they know I can be that asshole Traven, but you know what? This is not all he is. Like he is personable. He can relate to us in a certain way. And and when I read that book, I said, I'm happy I went in hard. Like if I would have went in like, hey, I'm your friend, buddy, and then like if shit hit the fan, now I gotta be tough. People would look at you like, yo, but you let us do this for how long? Now you want to act like this?
Right.
So that's how I take it into parenting, where it's like, I might not be your best friend to my kid for the first 5 to 7 years, but I think by the time I'm like he's 16 to 18 or she, I think they would enjoy me more because I'm gonna definitely feel like I set the right base level to where they'll be making good choices. I can't, like I said, I don't have a fortune, but I can't look in the future to see that. But I personally believe, hey, the harder you are, like I just got into like a disagreement with my sister because I be telling her, I'm like, yo, I said, I don't like the fact that, my nieces be eating candy and shit all the time. Like they like 1 and 2. And it's like, our family is like diabetes, heart disease and shit like that. And she was like, well, you ate it when you was a kid. I was like, yeah. I said, I did. But I said, honestly, I dislike the fact that my mom would bring it into the house. I was like, I would have respected it more if she would have ate it at work, ate it in the car before she got in. But I said, literally, like, I would get in trouble for eating all these sweets in the house. But I'm like, you're bringing it in the house. So I'm like, if you really care about your kid losing weight and not being like overweight or not getting diabetes and shit like that, you want to bring the poison to the house.
Right, that's true.
And she was just like, well, you don't know what you want to do with your kid because, if you have a long day, you try to find things to pacify your kids. Now, honestly, that's my issue with parents is y'all try to pacifying your kids isn't what it's supposed to be. I said we all had a kid in school who had celery and apples and ate healthy and ran every day, and they are still in shape to the day because their parents was like that. They set that foundation for their kid. I said, is it going to be easy? No, I don't think it's going to be easy to do it. But I said, when I have kids, I'm gonna try that. So I told her she always we talk about A, B, and C. She always take it to like TUV. She always goes so off track where she was like, so are you saying that your kids can't have snacks and stuff at school? I was like, I can't control what my kid do at school. But I said, I'd rather my kid have cookies 5 to 10 times a year than 150 times a year. I said, I can't control the outliers, but I can control what happens inside the house.
Fact. Sure.
So I was just like, I said, I know you're trying to make a way to make it seem like, hey, what I'm doing is overbearing, but I was like, yo, it's possible if you really want the best for your kid.
No, for sure. Yeah, man. That's you are right. My daughter's 4 years old and she can identify food that is, Daddy, is this healthy? Yeah, that is healthy. Or if it's not healthy, it's can't like she does that at 4 years old. So yeah, you're definitely right about the introduction from the family, from the parents rather, with not even just food, but I mean bad behavior as well, cursing and all that type of stuff. So
and that's where it benefits to have two parents
for sure.
Because one parent is gonna pacify. Because they don't want to be the bad guy at all times.
Yeah.
It just is what it is. So
gotta find that balance.
Gotta find the balance. So you don't want to be that parent to where, okay, you got a call from school about your kid, and then you gotta wait 4 or 5 hours till you see your kid when you got to work, and then you gotta get mad again,
right,
and whoop their ass.
Yeah.
Instead of, okay, maybe this parent get off work a little earlier, maybe he or she. I got the call, but I can relay the message to them. And once the kid get home, the discipline already hit them right when they walk in the door.
Right, yeah.
Ain't no need to turn that mode back on or say, shit, the anger from me already wore off. Now I can pacify the kid.
Yeah.
I can just talk to him and gentle parent them on the gentle side.
Yeah.
And then the kid's just gonna break the rules again because they didn't really get no real discipline.
Yeah, and I think you nailed it too.
It's just one of those things. Is you got that's bro. I'm just big on. I'm happy. You got your 2-parent home going on. Even though you, like you said, you didn't come from that,
Right.
but you doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing it. You come from that, and I know for sure that that's what you would do because you
Yeah.
come from that stock. I know you would.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so
All
it's
right,
just
hold
one
on.
of the things.
Let's pause. We're gonna get to it. Let's start the podcast. All right, because this is a good topic, so we won't get into this. All right. What's good? It's your boy Trey the Realist. This is episode number 17. If you don't mind me asking, I got two of my favorite guests so far, man. My boy Arian, my boy Iman, all the way from the
Yeah.
Lou.
Yo.
I'm gonna pass it over to them so they can introduce themselves real quick.
Yeah, man. It's your boy of mine. We back on here, man. You know how it go. Getting back to it. Appreciate my boy Trey for having me again. Let's get it.
Yes, sir. It's Arian. Second time around. You know, looking forward to another insightful interview. Thank you for having me.
Oh, me.
Nah, yes,
Yeah,
sir, yes, sir.
yeah.
So I like bringing my guys on because I can actually ask some questions that help me kind of shape how I would move in certain situations because, you know, I'm a single guy, you know, and I want to be a relationship guy, a family man. So whenever I kind of do need advice, I reach out to my homeboys just to get more of a understanding on how I will move once I do acquire those things.
Mhm.
So the first thing I just want to ask you guys, you know, I don't want to make it about all your kids this time, but do you think it's more harmful to be a strict parent or be a parent that's more so give your kids freedom?
So I think it's more harmful to overdo either one of them. I know that's the easy answer to say, but it is more harmful to overdo either one of them because you got to be strict on your kids in certain areas, but you also want to give them a leeway in the sense for them to grow and learn on their own because the best teacher is experience. So if you try to guide them in every little thing and try to protect them from everything and be strict on everything, it's not allowing them to grow, and they're gonna always need that parent for guidance when they get older, or throughout their life in general. They're gonna look for their parent for some type of guidance because that's what they've always had, someone giving them direction and order with every little thing. Now, on the other hand, giving them too much freedom can be harmful as well because they are still a kid with a developing brain, and they do need some type of guidance at the end of the day. You know, you definitely want to guide your kid in the way that you see best fit based on your experience, but you don't just want to shelter them and hold them down, of course, to the point where they can't grow and learn on their own and let them experience on their own.
For sure. And I would definitely have to second that. Like AT said, it sounds like the easy answer, but, you know, too much of anything, especially early on for a child, it could be detrimental to their future.
Facts.
Being an overbearing parent, you're going to create someone that eventually has to be an adult. And oftentimes that doesn't create for the best adult. And much like on the flip side of that, too much freedom too early on will have a child thinking they're grown. And, you know, there's obvious just bad effects of that as well. And so, yeah, I definitely, you know, not to rehash too much AT said, but I think that's spot on, though. Too far leaning either way, too extreme could definitely create.
All right, so not to, you know, be the devil's advocate in all this, but do kids nowadays even have freedom? And before y'all answer that, they got all these Zoom cameras. Kids can't even lie about their test scores because the teachers are texting and emailing the parents everything nowadays. Like, I think back in our time, you had to find the fine line between freedom and being strict. But I feel like nowadays, there's so much surveillance. Do kids even have any freedom to even get anything off that they experience life?
I think so. I think they do. Because even though, obviously, there are more cameras than ever, you know, more surveillance and more places than ever. However, I think that there still lies a choice within the parent or the guardian to take that extra step to be that bird in the sky, if you will. You know, I could look on my phone right now and see where my son is, but I don't do it. When my son is at home or when he gets home, I get a notification that he made it home. But that doesn't mean now let me go and watch the cameras, you know, constantly looking at the phone, seeing what he's doing like an asshole or something, you know what I'm saying? So I give him that space to, when you get home from school, you still have that space to either do your homework, pick up around the house, feed the dog, or you could burn the goddamn house down. It wouldn't be much that I could do for that, which is why it's a choice to not be overbearing on my children and let them kind of, like AT said, let them make some mistakes through experience.
Nah, bro, hit it on the head.
So-
Straight up.
When do you know, hey, let me be quiet and let life kind of teach them? And when do you actually feel like, hey, I need to step in? Like, like how do you determine that?
Well, you know your kid. You know when you need to step in or when you feel comfortable enough for life to happen. You know, because we, as a parent, you definitely got some type of, I don't know if I want to call it a fear, but you do have some type of, I guess I would say fear for your child.
For sure.
You definitely got some type of fear of their well-being and what they're doing and the decisions they will make or won't make. So you definitely want to play that into a part too. So you don't want to be too overbearing like he just said, but you definitely got to let life happen.
And I think it's case by case basis, AT. Like some things you kind of got to read it in the moment, and you'll know sooner than your child will if they're if they have developed the confidence or the wherewithal for a certain moment, you know, to where you'll step back and you won't say nothing. Let me see what he gonna say. You know, so let me see how he gonna handle it.
Facts.
Or even to put it in simplify it even a little more. You know, there's times where my daughter, who is more adventurous, more courageous, right? She's more willing to try things and jump off the top of this or whatever. And kids will surprise you to where, like AT said, you have that fear to where you go, hey, don't wait. And then they do it and they turn around and look at you and laugh. And you be like, damn, that was a close call to me. But to that child, hey, you know, I was going to do that whether you was here or not. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, I think it's case by case. You just kind of got to, like I've touched on several times, if you're an actual parent, if you really in that bag, you really in your parenting bag, you aware. Like you really in it. You really paying attention to your children. You know what's going on at school. You know their behavior. You know their tendencies. You know their attitude. You know their personality, and you could better assess. You know what your kid is ready for, isn't ready for, kind of what they will do, what they won't do, and like I say, still and all though, they will surprise you sometimes. So
So look, real quick though, that's funny. He said that, right? So a month or about 2 months ago, we was barbecuing at the crib, me and my family, and Arian and his family, and Landers and his family pulled up, and you know we got a pool and everything in the neighborhood or whatever. So we in the pool, they pull up probably like an hour later, and as soon as they get there, his daughter runs and jumps in the pool with no floaties or nothing. Like, so we all sitting there and. Him and his wife, they didn't really panic though. They know, like he just said, she's courageous. So Landers, she jumped right in front of Landers. Landers like, can she swim? And they both like, nah. Like, and Landers got her and helped her back up But the confidence that and the way they know their daughter, and of course they felt more comfortable because we right there, of course. You know what I'm saying? It was a more like comfortable thing, but them knowing their daughter. She's courageous. She just went out. Like most kids, not finna just go jump in no water like that.
Yeah, no body of water.
What? Yeah. Just like and she when you helped out, she's still smiling.
Yeah,
even though she was just struggling.
That's a great example.
Like that's knowing your child. You know what I'm saying? Like his son older, but I don't think the son would have done that. And I think the same for my kids. My son wouldn't do that, but my daughter probably would have.
Okay.
It's just little things like that, bro. Like so just knowing your child and what they're capable of and what just. The courageous side to him.
Let me give y'all an example then. So for your oldest kid. So I remember like 2 years ago, I was talking to one of my homeboys and he was telling me that he personally didn't like the fact that his son was such a rule follower. Like he was like his son just do anything somebody telling him. And he was like, he wished his son had at least a little bit of rebel in him to not trust just anybody or any authoritative figure to be like, hey. And I was like, well, don't you want a son that's well behaved and listen to adults? He was like, yeah, but I also wanted my son to actually think for himself as well. So when it comes to y'all kids, would y'all rather have an adventurous kid who like wants to learn or somebody that kind of just follows all the rules?
Well, so it's funny you ask that question because, you know, my dad, me and him, we talk a lot, and his thing is he likes bad boys, like not a bad boy, but little boys that
push the limit.
That push the limit. Because his thing is why he don't want no kid that's not that isn't going to challenge themselves and like you said, push that limit and think for themselves. I don't want like the teacher telling you do something all the time. Like sometimes it's okay to think for yourself and ask, why am I doing this? You know, so I get what your friend was saying, because sometimes I feel like that with my own son.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you're not gonna think for yourself. Like, yo, you with your cousins, and they older than you. I get it. They your big cousins, but don't just do everything that they saying. Think for yourself sometimes. And he's getting there.
Right.
He's finding that confidence in himself to do that with with me being more in tune with that and noticing that as his dad. That's when I come in to have to fix that.
You read my mind.
Or at least try to fix it and steer him in ways to help build his confidence and let him know, son, you smart. You just as tough. You just as strong. You can think for yourself. You don't have to do what somebody else is doing just because you're unsure of yourself.
And we can't. I feel like, and like I said, as you were talking, you were literally starting to say the things that I'm thinking about. That's not so much on the kid. Where is the kid? And not to knock on your friend, but where is the kid supposed to find this confidence? To find even the understanding and the belief within himself as a kid. Hold on, I can do that. I actually can question that if it doesn't make sense. Because like AT said, and with my son as well, he asks questions, or he might show a certain trait that I might not like in my son, and I know that doesn't play well for the trait of a man in the world. And so I gotta correct it. And it's not gonna take punching him in the chest and saying, "Quit being a bitch." It has to be a little more methodical than that.
Straight up.
You know, because you're raising them, you know.
Can I add to that real quick? Do you guys feel, because both of y'all sons are the oldest, and my friend, he's the oldest. I feel like a lot of time when you're the oldest child as well, you feel like you can't go off the rails because you're setting the example. I can talk about my sister, Alyssa. Like, she never got beat, got good grades, everything. And I remember I was talking to her recently, and she just said, like, I hated the fact that I couldn't really be the bad one. Like, so I didn't want to be the perfect kid, but I had to be the third adult. I had to be your mom in a way. Whereas almost like sometimes when you the youngest, you can be the courageous one to jump into the pool and do all of that because hey, my brother's going to save me, my dad's going to save me. But sometimes when you the oldest, it's a big burden that I didn't really understand until my oldest had been told it to me. So do you think that maybe is the reason why the oldest child sometimes are the rule follower, because they have to set that example?
I could, that probably has something to do with it. I was the oldest. It was, so as we were talking about, that transition from me basically losing that little bit of discipline that I did have, also going through the entire growth of being alone really and not really having a guardian, was my little sister, who is 9 years my junior. And so she was really my first child. I'm literally taking grease in the morning and combing and giving her, a half ponytail that I could do so we could go to school together. And I that's why I say it only has so much bearing on that first kid being a rule follower, because I think it depends on what that experience was like, where I felt like I had to protect my little sister, you know what I mean? And I had to be there for her no matter what. While that did give her a sense of, I could do whatever, my brother. And sure enough, when living in the small town that we had moved back to in Mississippi, I was extremely popular. Tri-county area, pretty much everybody knows me. And that gave her a sense of, oh, I can't do nothing wrong. You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm gonna tell my brother, and that's not always a good thing, you know what I mean? And so it did give her that sense of, I could fuck up, actually. I can go out here and fuck up because my brother got me. But I can't even say that necessarily made me a rule follower. It actually, I felt like, in which I've grown to understand, obviously, but I felt like me being in the position that I was, it actually gave me more reason to break the rules, because I felt like, shit, I shouldn't be having to do what I'm doing right now anyway. So yeah, if I got to go to Dollar General and steal $50 worth of food for me, my grandma, and my little sister, that's what I'm gonna do. So I think it does have some bearing on it as that first child being a rule follower. But I think if it's a structured, depending, what that structure is in that household, it could make that older child feel like that. But if that older child is feeling like he or she is the true leader of that household or that unit, then we might have to break a few rules around this motherfucker to get the job done, you know.
So you answered that beautifully, but let me ask you a question about y'all kids.
Yes, sir.
Even though your oldest are the boys, do you feel like you're harder on the oldest, regardless of their gender?
Yeah, because I feel like you kind of expect them to know better, in a sense. You know, so I think that's why the older child, usually people are harder on the older child. Kind of want them to lead by example for the younger child. You want to teach them how to protect as well. Even if it's a girl that's the oldest. Like me and you got the same dynamic. I think you got 2 older sisters, right?
Yeah.
You know, I grew up in a house with 2 older sisters. So you still want them to be able to protect and teach them to lead by example, because parents not always going to be around. You know, you want to be able to lead, like at least instill some type of discipline and something like that in the older child to, you know, pass it back down and make sure the younger siblings are in line.
Okay.
You know, so and that would be my take on it, because I feel like our dynamic was, of course we got the same dynamic as far as 2 girls and then a son, but everything would probably be the same in that case.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the way your big sister was moving probably was the same as how my big sister was moving. I don't know.
Because what I don't like about the whole hierarchy is because we grown now.
Mm-hmm.
We all in our 30s.
Mm-hmm.
But my dad still depends on my sister to do everything, where it's like, you got 2 other kids where we can do these things as well. Like, you don't have to go to my sister.
We could divvy this up.
You know, we could divvy it up. And even though we tell him that, he still just directs all of the hard stuff towards my sister.
Your older sister?
My oldest one, yeah. It's my oldest one, where it's just like, she's like, damn, I got my own kids and stuff. I got a husband. I got stuff to worry about. Like, Travens don't got nobody out there. Like, you can talk to Traven and stuff like that. And I expressed that to my dad, but he subconsciously still delegates most of the work to my sister. And I just never understood that. That's why I said I don't have kids of my own. That's why I'm trying to figure it out, because the older I get, the more I realize, like, damn, my sister had a lot on her plate for a long time. And until she, like, I would say she broke down, but like it was like 4 or 5 years ago, she kind of was just like, yo, I need y'all to do some stuff. Like, I can't do it all.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized, like, damn, like, first I didn't know that these things were issues that had to be dealt with. Mm-hmm. Now that I know, how can I help you? How can I assist you? Mm-hmm. And I told my dad it, but you know, I don't know. He has some type of fixation with the oldest kid in a way. Where I
wouldn't call it a fixation, but just to go back off what we said, we know our kids. Okay, and even though we're older, certain personalities are still within. Even though you're an adult, we're in our 30s, and a lot of times as parents, we're trying to see our child show us that we can throw this burden on them. Mm-hmm. You know, and it's kind of like that with my older sister as well, in a sense. You know, she got a husband, family, and stuff, and sometimes it be pissing me off, because sometimes I be feeling like, dang, I ain't even know that was going on. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm on the outside, and like, why ain't nobody telling me this? Right. You know, and I don't think it got nothing to do with them not trusting or believing that I can get it done. I just feel like it's one of them things, like, your parents think they know who everybody is, and we trust the older sibling to get it done or be more strategic with it or anything like that. You know, you the younger sibling, you might be on your own thing. Because most time, younger siblings tend to be for themselves, in a sense. You tend to move in a certain way that, you know, shit.
Yeah, I'm chilling.
I
got everything going on in front of me.
Exactly. I'm chilling. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm the youngest. Parents are a little bit more tired when I come into the world, so I got a little bit more freedom than everybody. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times we can be selfish. Mm-hmm. And we're not really thinking about what's really happening outside of what our little bubble got going on, in a sense. I feel like a lot of times that's what parents look at. And not saying it's right, but it also ain't wrong either, because you know they only going off what we've shown. Mm-hmm. Okay. At least that would be my take. Being a younger sibling, that's what I would say in those situations.
I feel that, and like you said, I feel like the biggest thing is like, damn, I learned things years later where it's like, where was I? Like,
I missed this lesson.
I missed this lesson where it's like I said, we all grown now, and it's funny because my sisters come to me a lot for their advice and their issues nowadays. And,
straight up, me too.
And I don't mind it. I actually, you know, I appreciate they care what I actually have to say. They might not follow everything I say, but they come to me a lot of times to be like, you know, how what do you think about this, Traven? And I appreciate that. But sometimes, like I said, like when it comes to your parents, sometimes they just keep you in a box where it's just like, nah, like it's more to it. And it's funny because I be telling them all the time, like, me and my dad, and I'm older, I be holding my dad feet to a fire to a lot of things. Like I be having questions that he has to answer, and they tell me all the time, like, he's different with you than he is with us. I'm like, well, I mean, what you mean? They're like, well, he's more, how can I say, like they pretty much say he's nicer to me than they are to them. And I was just like, well, I think maybe because I'm the child, maybe because I am bold, that I don't take his bullshit. You know what I'm saying? I was like, you have to set boundaries with people. And if you don't know what your boundaries are, then how you ever going to move accordingly?
Right.
And that's what I realized with my sister, where it was like, when it comes to my dad, sometimes I wouldn't say they're fearful of like saying what they want to say, but sometimes they feel like, all right, it's going to fall on dead ears. Whereas like, you know what? I don't think he had dead ears. I just don't think he really knows, not unless you kind of beat it into him. Where sometimes I be having to beat it into my dad until he'd be like, you know what? I ain't mean to come off that way. Let's reset and re-talk about this, son. Cause I be telling him all the time, I be like, yo, I said, conversation go both ways. I was like, if you don't care what I say, I don't care what you say.
Yeah.
And that might come off disrespectful sometimes, but sometimes you have to hear that from your child to be like, damn, maybe I am tripping. You know what I'm saying? Where like, I don't think my sisters go about it that same way. Where it's almost like, you know what, like, all right, dad. Where it's like, nah, we're gonna have to figure this out because I can't take you over talking me or trying to talk about things where this is not the 1980s no more.
Right,
this is 2025. Like times is different. Things are different, Dad. Like,
I think it's dope though that y'all still are able to have that dialogue, particularly with your fathers though. Being able to have that dialogue and being able to have a conversation, not from middle school kid age or some high school kid perceived as knowing it all, but you're a grown ass man having a conversation. Yeah, he your dad, but he another grown ass man, and I might not think how you think now, nigga. You know what I'm saying? So we finna have to agree to disagree or something, or you gonna see it how I see it, or maybe you could tell me something to sway my opinion. And I just think that that's dope that y'all can have that dialogue.
And that's what I was gonna say. Because at the end of the day, it's two grown men talking now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It ain't like your sister or your sisters. At the end of the day, it's natural for. Like most men not trying to let a woman tell them what to do. I know it sounds sexist, but this is what it is.
Yeah, that's reality.
It's just reality. You know what I'm saying? Daughter, sister, aunt, whoever, like not trying to let no woman tell you what to do.
Right.
And it might sound bad, like I said, but that just is what it is. That's the reality. You know what I'm saying? You being the son, that's other testosterone right now. And you his only son?
Yeah.
Come on, bro. Like it's already a different level of love. It's just y'all. You love your kids the same, but you my son. Like
right.
You don't want that's finna carry my last name.
You my only son.
You the only son I got. You gonna carry my last name. So I'm gonna talk to you a little different than I would my daughters.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let you voice your opinion because you a man. I'm gonna let you talk how you talk. I don't want to tone you down as another man.
Yeah.
Because we all know when two men talking, it's always a low level threat of violence that can happen.
For sure.
Always.
Oh,
Father, son, no matter what. Marvin Gaye's daddy killed him. You know what I'm saying? So it's always not saying it would go that far, but I'm just saying it's always a low level threat of violence.
I never thought of it that way. That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? It's always there, bro. So fathers, once your sons get to a certain age, they start dialing back and letting their son talk and say what they feel. No matter how strict the dad was when he was a kid, he older now. He kind of let loose. He kind of let back now. You a man.
Yeah.
You got it. And low key, I think fathers know if we did come to this, my son, he's in better shape. He would get on my ass right now. You know what I'm saying?
And he's my son.
He's my son. Like, come on, I raised him the right way. I know how he coming. It's one of the things, bro. So
you gave me a lot of insight. I never thought of it that way. Okay.
And I think even on now with our sons, we appreciate it. It actually lets us know that we're fathering the right way when we might be in a certain parent zone, a father zone, to where our young boys right now can say, hey, Dad, but what about this, that, and the third? And you're like, you're right, son.
Facts.
Like, you actually right about that. You know what I mean? And we can, as men, you know, who have developed emotionally, we learn not to take everything to heart. And actually, hold on, it might be something I can learn from this, even if it is from a 9-year-old or a 6-year-old, you know what I mean? And so, and especially, I was saying, it's just on a smaller scale where we are now, but much like when we get older and AJ and Ace want to give a little manly pushback, we might initially feel like, oh, but you right though. You know, you're a grown man and you telling me something that's right. So I can respect it. I can accept it, and it make my heart smile because I raised you right. You know,
just go back to that thing we were talking about, being the kid, not the bad boy, but the kid that's gonna test the limits.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm at that age now. Like, nah, daddy, I don't see it the way you see it, and this is what it is.
Yeah.
So speaking on boundaries, how do you set boundaries now as grown men when it comes to your relationship with y'all ladies and y'all kids and y'all friends? Like, what boundaries do y'all have now that y'all grown?
You just gotta set certain non-negotiables from the get-go.
So what are your non-negotiables, man?
I mean, just a lot of stuff, bro. Like, I will not tolerate disrespect. And I don't know if that sounds like a dictatorship, but that's just how I come, right?
That's at the top of the list.
We will not tolerate disrespect from my woman, my kids, none of that. And then especially the disrespect part, because having a son, if your son sees you getting disrespected, come on, bro. Even if your daughter see you getting disrespected,
yep.
That's like he said, that's at the top of the line, bro. You can't let him, and it's not like I'm finna die about this, but it's nipping in the bud at the beginning, letting people know that I'm not finna tolerate that. We not finna play around. We not finna use certain words.
Right, yeah.
When we talking to each other. You know what I'm saying? Just little things like that, bro. Like, so the respect part would be the big thing for me. And like I said, I don't want to seem like I'm a dictator in a relationship, because that's not how I want to move. I want people to be able to not do what you want to do, but in fact, do what you want to do. I should be able to trust you to know that you're gonna do right by me, without me having to be on your ass about everything.
Understand the consequences.
Understand, like, come on, man. You know, you're not finna just be able to do me no kind of way and think I'm finna just come back to you. You got one time to really, fuck me over. Before it's over with.
And I find a lot of my close friends like AT, when we talking about boundaries or things related to it, to where we feel like we have to preface it by saying things like AT is saying, I don't want to sound like a dictator, because we want to lessen that blow. You know, we really would rather not have to say that. But I think the women that we have and our children and our parents, the reason why they respect us the way they do, and the reason why we're able to maintain and carry a household and somehow balance a woman and 2 kids, right, and a dog and a job and all this other stuff going on, is because we set those boundaries, but we allow space for it to be fluid as well, to where, hey, this is the boundary. You can cross it. You know, I'm not gonna stop you from crossing the boundary. You can cross the boundary, but hopefully throughout our relationship, whether it's with our women or our kids, hopefully throughout this thing, you have tiptoed up to that boundary and you found out, and that's not, and here I am, right, doing what I say that we find ourselves doing. It's not a real threat of, I'm not gonna beat my woman. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just gonna beat my kids because they disrespected me or nothing. But there are means of handling this, right? And you're going to see a part of dad, or you're going to see a part of husband that is really only reserved for when you violate those boundaries, you know? And like I said, that doesn't always mean violence. That's really kind of reserved for a man-to-man thing. Like AT was just alluding to. It's really only about 3 steps when men are talking, right? Before we're fighting. You know what I'm saying? And so, I think, man, we wouldn't be able to maintain or have and we got strong women, you know what I'm saying? We got strong women. We wouldn't be able to maintain that, and to even, for those women and those children to even be in our orbit, if they didn't really love and appreciate the boundaries that we do set for ourselves and set for them, you know?
Well said, brother.
And I think boundaries is like a key staple to stability. And that's what you need in a family. Like, I didn't agree with everything my dad did, but he had strict rules. My mom was just like, hey, this is your father. This is how we want to roll. You need your leader to have those boundaries and rules set in place so the whole family can benefit.
For sure.
But the last part I just want to add is, when did y'all learn that, respecting what your boundaries were? Like, did you know when you was young? Did it come throughout, when you was in high school, middle school? Like, when did you be like, you know what? This is what I'm not tolerating anymore. This is what this is what I'm gonna follow.
I learned from my dad personally. You know what I'm saying? I just saw how my dad carried himself. I saw the respect he got from other men. You know, my dad not like the tallest person. My dad like 5'7", 5'8". You know what I'm saying? But I seen other men bigger than him, like the way they look at him and the way they respect him, the way they talk to him. And it just shows me that he didn't tolerate no BS. You know what I'm saying? And just seeing how he handled the household, he'd be gone all day running around doing what he do, making his money hustling. He get home and everything is in line. He ain't got to raise his voice because everybody know he not messing around. Like plain and simple. Because he set boundaries set by you know what I'm saying, just by action in a sense. You know what I'm saying? By doing. He doing, so everybody else need to fall in line. And I noticed that at a young age. I noticed how he handled, I would use the word handle, but I'll just say how he handled my mom. And that's how I thought a man was supposed to handle their household and their woman. Just plain and simple. You know what I'm saying? I'm setting rules. I'm leading by example. Everybody else need to fall in line. Or I ain't gotta be here for real.
Straight up.
And it'll be way worse without me being here. Y'all can all dislike me for whatever reason, but y'all all gonna grow up and everybody gonna be a well-to-do adult in a sense, based on my dictatorship in the sense. You know what I'm saying? Based on how this happening. Because at the end of the day, y'all got my last name. Y'all all got my last name until you don't have it no more, ladies.
I know it sounds hard, but at the end of the day, ladies do want leadership.
They do.
Well, women don't want to have to think and do it all for their own. They want somebody they can kind of look up to and be like, hey, like I know if this shit goes down, he is the last line of the support to keep us afloat. So
no doubt.
I definitely agree with that. Okay. Speaking on that, I don't want to say your daughter, but say when your daughters come of age, say they in college.
Right.
And they ask you about how do I know whether a guy really likes me? How do I know, how to keep a man? What would you tell your daughter? Would y'all give them free game or will y'all kind of be hesitant?
Oh yeah. I think the gaming up process, especially for our daughters, it starts long before college. Because if you're trying to game her up, when she gets to college, you're competing with a nigga on the basketball team. And you're gonna lose. You know what I'm saying? He gonna have her ear. So I feel like the gaming up process, for my daughter, is going to happen throughout time. And hopefully, as she begins to spread her wings and fly off of my porch at whatever age that is, I want to feel good about the things that I've made her hip to, in a sense, because it's only so much I can control.
So give me 2 things you'll give her hip to. I want to ask, what would you actually tell her
I think
about a man?
One thing for sure is to go off of action, because as men, especially when we were younger, we'd tell a woman anything, literally anything. You could be in a dead relationship. You single? Yeah. You want me to be? I'm single. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so I would tell her to definitely, the one thing anyway, is to go off a man's actions. If it's nothing for a man to tell you, I really want to take you on a date and then maybe we can go out and do this and go out and do that. And like, yeah, it's cool. That shit sounds great, my nigga. It sounds amazing. But 6 months have gone past since he told you that. Has he taken you on a date, or has this nigga only text you after 12 a.m.? And so I would tell her, just go off a man's actions.
What is she messing with a professional? Like a dude who got the money and resources, but just kind of,
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing. And it's only, like I said, it's only so much I can lend myself to that, because she's my daughter, right? But the world isn't gonna look at her and say, "Oh, this Arian's daughter, man." No, you know what I'm saying? And so it's only so much I can lend myself to that before I gotta let her fly out a little bit. And it would be unrealistic for me to think that I'm gonna have, even my sister I was telling you guys about. It was my first child, and she's 9 years younger than me. She has a baby now. I could have never stopped that. You know what I mean? So yeah, it just would be unrealistic for me to think that I could, there's anything that, or magic words that I could tell my daughter or my son to stop either of them from getting played, in a sense, by the opposite sex. I could just only, like I keep referring to, is being a present parent up until they spread their wings and decide to jump off the porch. And then at that point, it's upon them to kind of rely on or refer back to the game that I hope I'm giving them. You know,
I agree with that because the big, like he said, the big thing is just watching a man's action. When you're talking to your daughter, and it's gonna happen. Like as much as you probably don't want to think it's gonna happen, but they gonna get played.
mm-hmm.
It's gonna happen. Even if you are looking at actions, man can do all the right stuff. He can take you out on a date, like you said, the first weekend, whatever you want to do. But he's only doing that for one end goal.
Yeah.
And we all know what that end goal is when you're a young man. When you a bachelor, you just living. Most of the time.
I saw a nigga say, even a good man wants some ass.
Straight up, he's the best man. You know what I'm saying? Like straight up. You know what I'm saying? So he could be checking all these boxes off, doing everything Daddy said. Look out for all these green boxes. You know what I'm saying? All these green flags.
Red flags,
he doing all of them. Daddy, this the one. You know what I'm saying? He done got what he wanted. And now the red flags is all they popping out everywhere now. You can see all the red flags. He done disappeared. You ain't heard from him.
Yeah.
Now he needs space.
Yeah. Now he needs space.
Now I need space. I think we moving too fast. All that. So it's bound to happen because I've been that guy before.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So who am I to think that all the game I can give my daughter won't protect her from that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's going to be experience. Like, hopefully it don't take experience. Hopefully everything I do say, it just works in her favor.
Right.
But most time it takes experience.
For sure.
And I hope that experience don't, like, make her, like, not trust men at all no more. Put all men in one single bottle. You know what I'm saying? Thinking every man is like this. But that's just kind of the world we in right now. You know what I'm saying? So you got to let experience happen. But you also got to do your job as a father, like Arian said, bro, and just make sure you're giving them game on that action. Because action is very important. It'll tell you everything for the most part. 95% of the time, the action is right.
Yeah. You see this, what I see on social media is that a lot of women, when you ask them, what do a man like? They say what they think a man likes.
Right.
They don't really know what men actually like. And this is what I tell my homegirls all the time that be having dude issues. I'm like, I think it's more important for you to set your standards first. Like put it on your terms. Cause at least if you know what's on your terms, you can't get mad at nobody but yourself. So I think a lot of times women, when they do find a guy they really like, they are willing to bend to whatever a guy may like. Whereas like if I ever have a daughter in the future, a guy willing, I'm gonna say like, hey, set the game up how you want it to be played. Like don't just be a piece on the board. Like set the board up yourself. Set the rules to this game to yourself, so you can't be played. Right. They're always going to be a professional sniper. What Joe Budden said, like somebody that is like a pro that can manipulate situations. But if you have your core values set in which you're not going for like your non-negotiables,
for sure,
you're going to be way ahead than a lot of these other girls. And that's all I can really tell women. It's just like, hey, you can't get mad if you willingly go into these games. Like, set your own game up. Because I done messed with girls told me like, hey, like, I'm down for X, Y, and Z, but I ain't going for A, B, and C. And I respect that more, so I know how I can approach it. Like, a lot of times, the girls want us guys that have, well, I like to say, I think girls like men because at the end of the day, we know what we want. You know what I'm saying? And that goes to my next topic is, I was looking at this old head on TikTok. He was saying that, it's important for fellas to know not to go for what you want, but to go for who likes you. Do y'all agree with that statement? Do y'all believe that you should be with somebody that like you and not somebody that you really want? I know y'all have relationships, so it's not about y'all relationship. I'm just talking about in general for men. Right.
I would say definitely in a sense, especially with the male to female dynamic, as far as if a woman and it depends on what they're trying to get out of it, Are we just looking to hook up, or if we're looking for something long term? Now, if both parties are shooting for something long term, I think that woman has to be more interested in that man, because oftentimes what'll happen with women is if they feel like that guy is too into them, they can kind of run over him in a sense. And no woman really wants a man that she can run over. Most women that desire long-term relationships and they want to build a family and all of that, like we were just talking about, they want a man that can lead. They don't want a man that's just going for anything they tell him.
Just because they fine as hell.
Yeah, that's a duck. That like she can get that anywhere, especially a woman that's used to attention. So I would say it depends on what they're shooting for. If they're just shooting for some one night shit or whatever, or just some some friends with benefits or what have you, cool. You could like her a lot, bro. If you know that you ain't really gonna take her serious, you could be whatever you want her to be. You know, be whatever she wants you to be. Because y'all just hooking up every now and then, and you're a fairy tale for her. But whenever let's take that same type of woman, whenever she wants something long term, she don't want this dude that's fucking every time I call, he running over here. Or she playing on you now. Girl, watch this. I know John, he gonna watch this. He finna go get this. All I gotta do is tell him I need my car note paid and watch what he. You know what I'm saying? They play over guys like that.
Yeah.
And that's a lot. I feel like that's a lot for a woman itself, dealing with a man that she know just overly likes her. You know what I'm saying? Not even the fact they can run over him, but I feel like it's just a lot for them in the mental aspect of trying to, you know what I'm saying, like even deal with that. Somebody that's always, you okay, always just own them always. You don't know, like instead of a man that's gonna tell them no or ignore a few calls, not even talk to them sometimes and have their mind wondering. You know what I'm saying? Them the women.
Isn't that confusing though? Like
it's not really that confusing.
Yeah, I don't think it's confusing.
It's not really that confusing, bro.
Because y'all was in the field. I'm in the field right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like the ones I do the least for, do the most for me. And like I said, the ones that I really do be feeling, I be like, damn, do I actually show I really feeling this person, or do I gotta play this stoic character in the background? Where it's just like it's to me, it's just like, why can't it just be straight up? Why can't it just be a straight up game?
So look, bro, it's one of them things, bro. The ones that you tend to be interested in the most, bro, most of the time they've been getting attention their whole life. They've been attractive to the majority of men their whole life.
They used to it.
They're used to it. So now they out here, they got the pick of the litter in a sense. So they out here weighing their options to see what fits them perfectly in their mind. Come to find out, all they gonna do is pick the one that they attracted to, and he's gonna treat them like a normal
Dog
girl.
them out.
Yeah, he's gonna treat them the same. And they gonna do, like we just said, they gonna like him more, so they gonna tolerate more.
Yeah.
It's just a cycle, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's all the same. And just, you know, that's really all it is, bro. So that's why it is, to get back to your question, I think it is kind of beneficial in a sense for a man to deal with a woman that does like him more for the better, like Arian said, for the long term. Cause I ain't gonna say she's gonna tolerate more, but she is, and she's looking at the end goal, and she's not just so adamant that she can just jump around and find any other man because she's been getting this attention her whole life.
Yep.
And not saying that she's not attractive, but you know, it's levels to attractiveness. Even for us men.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's levels to it.
Yep.
You know, the finest woman can get as many chances as she want. It just is what it is. She can deal with as many men as she want. Not saying that the man gonna marry her because he gonna start noticing all these red flags and all these different experiences from all these different men that she bring with her.
Right.
Yeah.
So those are gonna be red flags and stuff. And that's why a lot of times them fine women like the 10s and all them, they be still single, bro, because it's hard to deal with them type of women anyway.
They grow old and single, for real, for real.
They grow old and single. And I think my woman fine as hell. You know what I'm saying? I think my woman is a 10.
Yeah.
But I know my woman really, really loves me too, though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I know she do. And this is one of them things, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Echo that sentiment too.
I know she love me, bro. Like, and I love how she love me.
Yeah.
It ain't no second guessing. It ain't no gray area with
Straight
it. You
up.
know what I'm saying?
I love you for loving it.
Yeah, straight up. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit, it just...
So did it start off that way, or did it kind of mature into that?
It started off that way. You know when a woman like you or love you more than you do at that time. Because most of the time, us as men, it takes us a minute to get there anyway, especially when we out playing the field.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We getting pulled in so many directions from different women.
Yeah.
You're getting pulled all over the place because you've been having it your way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, no matter how you want to put it, as a man, young men, like, what is it, 3-1 women to men?
Yeah, I think it's about 3-1.
2-1, 3-1, something like that, bro. So, and then you got to take into account some men are homosexual. So it's already a bunch of, you got men locked up.
Yep.
So we already a bunch of women trying to get after one man.
One man, yeah.
So it's hard to do that, but then you start weighing up, she actually really, really care about me, opposed to her who she just in it for the moment. She still got her eyes open on something else. She probably just messing with me because the guy she really want, her first option probably BSing right now. You know what I'm saying? This woman, she really been into me for a long time. Like, just little stuff like that, bro. That's how I would look at it.
Not to beat a dead horse, because my whole thing is, if I date the person that I think likes me more than I like them, I kind of feel like I'm settling sometimes, because it's like, all right, is there a reason I don't like her as much as she like me? Or like I feel like sometimes in my head that comes through where it's just like, why am I not, how can I say, I don't reciprocate it as much as she's giving it.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like, is there something off? Am I settling? Is there something more out there? And I think that's an issue with a lot of us men where we always think that there's something more out there until we do find that one that kind of, I can't say check off all the boxes, but at least check out 8 out of 10 of the boxes that we have. And
I think you have to, and I always try to be careful when I speak about relationships and like finding somebody or whatever, because honestly, the start of, me and my wife's relationship, it was, I'm not going to say that it was a blur, but I didn't plan any of it. It's not like I had this great idea of to date her and then you get her pregnant and then propose to her and marry her and we still be together 12 years later. And I know it's unfair to lay that upon somebody who's on the dating scene right now, who's on the market. But I think you have to start somewhere. You're never gonna find the person that's gonna check all the boxes initially. I'm pretty sure I didn't check all the boxes for my wife out the jump. And I can't even, in the space I am now, I can't even say that I readily can identify the boxes that she didn't check for me then. But I did know that she loved me. She cared about me. She made me see value in myself where I didn't see value, due to negative occurrences throughout my childhood, to where she helped me identify within myself, like, oh, I actually, she built my confidence up in certain ways where I was lacking it. Or she actually helped me reveal to myself that I'm actually portraying confidence in certain departments where I lack confidence. And she helped me actually take out all that fluff and put actual confidence in those places. That's why I say I don't place that unfair expectation on men and women that's on the dating market right now, because especially, we everybody 30 plus, and you might have to take a kid or two. You might what I'm saying? The game crazy right now.
Crazy.
I don't know.
But you set that boundary though. Yeah. If kids are no go, then kids are no go.
So Aaron,
the pool's just a little small.
So Aaron, I know your story, but my last question about yours. So did you bag her or did she bag you?
Who, my girl?
Yeah.
I bagged her on some stuff. Like, but we have been knowing each other since middle school though.
Yeah.
We was talking a little bit in high school, but of course we ended up going to 2 different high schools, and then we kind of reconnected again in college. But like in college, bro, I wasn't trying to be in a relationship with no woman, bro. Like, I ain't like not no woman, but just in general, bro. Like, I wasn't
living.
I'm living. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing my own thing. You know what I'm saying? I ain't want to be tied down. I'm having my way in a sense.
Straight up.
Just it is what it is. Like, I'm not trying to be in a relationship. And then even after college, bro, like, you know what I'm saying? You done graduated, you done landed a decent job, you know what I'm saying? You got a nice car, you know what I'm saying? Making some money. I'm still having my way. Then we end up connecting again. And then, like, we actually getting to know each other as adults now.
But my question, who started that connection? Was it you or her?
I shot at her.
Because what I was going to say, I feel like I was talking to my dad. My dad pretty much said, like, my mom bagged him.
It be like that sometimes.
Yeah. A lot of the girls I was actually like boyfriend and girlfriend with, they low-key bagged me in a way. So to me, it's always like, it's just interesting when I think of that whole dynamic. So you the first one I actually heard, like, hey, like, yo, nah, it was me.
But I already knew she wanted me though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And not to make it seem like that, not to try to reverse it now that you just said that.
But y'all had history though.
We had history. And then like her cousin, which is a good friend of mine, he was like, bro, man, she been in love with you since middle school. Like he tells me that all the time. Every time me and him go back to St. Louis and me and him chop it up, he's like, bro, you know, cuz been in love with you since middle school. She used to always just talk about you, bro. Like, so I already knew she had feelings for me. You know what I'm saying? And as we got older and now we getting to like really talk and get to know each other for real, of course I started developing feelings for her.
But that's the thing I know between women and men is that, women, if they have real feelings for you, the fire never really fades in a way.
Yeah. I could agree with
I
that.
feel like, with men, sometimes our fire do go out. It might have to be relit sometimes,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
feel like a woman's fire, if she really like you, is like, the door is always
But
somewhere
they
open.
built like that
Always,
though. They
bro.
built on emotion like that. Whereas we could really be feeling a chick and she could show one little thing of disinterest, and we could still be feeling her. But we gonna tuck that away though. We good on that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Whereas, like you say, I think women, because they're emotionally in tune or more emotionally wired as humans, when they do truly feel a way about something or somebody, it tends to come out and onto other things that cannot play out so well, which is why, you have to have that balance of real men in the household, because when it's just mom, man, I think, mom gonna go off emotion a lot of the times where, when you have dad in there, and I'm just tying it all back in, dad can create that balance of logic with that emotion. Emotion can lead you down the right path sometimes too, but it can also make you overreact, And so, but yeah, I think like you said, women, when they feel a way about a guy, it's definitely a lot of times it's the real thing, just because that's how they're wired.
And we all know, well, I ain't gonna say always, but you know how women, show that they really like somebody, right? We all know.
What you got?
What y'all think? If a woman really likes somebody,
this is what I think. This is me being more older, because I wasn't lucky with the girls like that my whole life. It's more so my late 20s. But I feel like if a girl actually making you home cooked meals, bringing it to you, stuff like that, like actually like taking would care about your health and things like that. That's what I think a girl really is liking you. You know what I'm saying?
What you think?
From a like an older stage, or
Any stage, because we just get older. Most of the time it's still the same.
Triple text, like
I ain't even talking about that.
I couldn't say. I think because everything, there could be a number of things I could rattle off. Like if you're younger, when like kids, and when girls really like you, they're a little mean to you.
No, I ain't talking. We ain't talking about that. I ain't talking about kids. I'm just talking about I guess the adult way. I just say, in my opinion, a woman really likes you is when she spends her own money on you. The money she works for.
Oh yeah. So
she spent, no matter what,
right.
No matter what it is, no matter what it may be. If she pulls her card out and brings you something that she spent her money on, her own money.
That's it.
Pay for dates, all the type of stuff.
Not even pay for the date, because most men we ain't really just accepting that.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, if she even if she buy you a pair of Nike socks, anything, like she went and spent money on you, bro. Like that's how you know a woman really likes you, bro. Your birthday come around and she gets you something for your birthday. Like who really you mess with 1,000 girls? How many of them girls really cashed out on your birthday?
Yeah.
How many of them?
Yeah. No, AT, I think you hit it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, how many of them really just buying you stuff?
Driving some game. Okay, all right.
I'm saying, when that woman open that clutch part, that little clutch, and pull that debit card out. And
but part of me, I don't like that either. Because,
why you don't like that?
So the reason I don't like it, because the reason I don't like because like it gets more deeper. Where I don't want to get this in a deep section of it, but like my mom, she was transactional with love, where it's like she would buy my dad all this stuff. Like I can still remember to this day where it was like growing up, my mom would like make sure she get us all something to eat. Like, hey, call your dad, see what he want to eat. Right. Hey, we at this store, see whether he want me to pick him up something up. When I went with my dad, he just buying it for himself. He never like did it for my mom and things like that. So for me, it always kind of gave like low key mooching. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it kind of went to me where I tell a lot of girls where, we talk about love language. I'd be like, I don't really do well with gifts and stuff like that. I said, if anything, I like it more if you more so buy a football game ticket or a wrestling match, something I like to go to and you go with me. So that's more so what I like, more so than actually you pulling out a card and just buying me like some material.
But that's still her spending money on you.
Right.
Yeah, sure,
that's my point.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Her spending her own money on you.
Straight up.
Women don't usually do that.
Women don't usually do that.
Women are used to being the recipient of that.
Yeah, for sure.
We go out and do something. We go into your favorite thing, WrestleMania. You bought the ticket. You just asked me to come along with you. Mm-hmm. I'm your date. We going like that. Or maybe you got some free tickets from somebody you knew.
Yeah.
Job gave you some tickets. You just taking me. I ain't really buying nothing.
Right.
I barely ain't gotta bring my purse. I just need my ID, maybe.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
straight
saying?
up.
So
That's right.
that's really how it is. Now, when a woman really opens that purse, bro, and buys you anything, like any little thing, bro, that means she really, really likes you.
I could agree with
when
that.
you said that, I was thinking about, you ever see that meme of that dude be standing behind the big girl at the counter?
Oh yeah,
Go ahead and put that on the card, man. How much you got on that? I think Desi Banks just had that shit recently with the big girl.
Yeah, bro. Hey, but I feel like most of the men ain't really they broke as hell though.
That's what I'm saying.
That thing right
That's
there.
what I
Broke
was
as
thinking
hell.
of. Yeah, no,
For
you're
sure.
right.
You know what I'm saying? But shit, for the most part, bro, women gonna spend a little money on you if she really like
really
you or
feel
she
you.
love you. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like you need it because you got your own money as a man. Like we got our own money.
But I also think
that's just her
availability, though.
expressing it.
I think also availability, because like I done messed with girls who I knew didn't like me because they was like, "No, I'm busy right now." But like a
facts.
girl that's
Facts.
like, anytime I text her, she's there. Like where, when, where, how. Like I feel like that's also a key indicator as well.
We all experienced that. You know what I'm saying? My might shut off their availability just because they honestly waiting on somebody else to hit them back. They really into somebody else, another man. You know what I'm saying? You just you're just a timekeeper right now in the sense. You just in the way just to keep them busy in a sense and make them feel good about themselves. That somebody else is thinking about them. But whole time they really want that attention from the guy
Straight
they
up.
looking for.
Yeah.
But he talking to somebody else that got his mind. It's
interested,
all a
yeah.
cycle, bro. Like you know, it's just
The circle of life.
circle of life, bro. That's why you gotta find who like you and love you, bro.
That's why I say, Trev, you just gotta start somewhere, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I think you have all the skills to pick, you know, a woman that's well-meaning, and you know, I just think you have to start somewhere, though.
You know what I noticed about Midwest and Southern people though?
What's that?
Is that y'all are a lot more family oriented than some people on the coast. Like I remember when I went to SEMO, I had like, you know, some of my white homeboys, they were like, yo, like we want to get married by 22, have a family by 24, house by 25. Where I'm just thinking like, shit, I want to just experience life.
Yeah.
Where like it wasn't until I went to the Midwest and down south where I really saw that, hey, now we want a family, or hey, we had like a solid family foundation, and then we want to start young and build and grow older. So that's something I always respected about like the area, because in the East Coast, it's almost kind of like, hey, yeah, I might have a kid with this lay girl, but that don't mean I'm gonna be around. That don't mean I'm gonna be. I might be loyal to my kid. I might see him 2 or 3 days a week, but I'm not really fighting for a family. Where I feel like people in the Midwest and like down south, I can't speak for everybody, but for the most people I know, they fight a little bit more harder to keep that solid family structure, and that's something I do appreciate about just being able to live in different areas of the world.
Yeah, I think you've surrounded yourself with good people, bro. Because I know I can name plenty of people back at the crib who think total opposite of what you just said.
for sure.
That's what I don't know
Like,
everybody.
Same
You
way in
right?
Mississippi.
Yeah.
it's total
Yeah, I
opposite, bro.
countless
Like,
niggas who they just don't see it like that.
Facts.
Whereas, you know, me and AT or Landers or Ryan, we were like-minded in the sense that, man, once we got this woman with these kids, fuck all of that. She made me feel like this. Bro, you got responsibility. Like, and it sounds super harsh, and then you'll find you'll find guys on social media talking about, well, what about what I want? And should have thought about that, bro. You know what I'm saying? Before you got somebody's daughter pregnant. Like, you got, and then some guys do it 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times over again. Got 3, 4 baby mamas, 2 by the chick that you said you hated. You say you weren't never going back. You went and got, it got to be some type of accountability and responsibility at some point. And I get that a lot of times it's easier said than done. And then there are other cases where you have men who mean well end up with ain't shit women. It's a real thing. I get it. It's not always the man's fault, right? Sometimes the woman don't want what that, you know what I'm saying, what the man wants as far as a family structure. Sometimes she wanna run the streets or whatever.
Facts.
And you gotta let them go. But a lot of the times, because that woman has to carry that baby to term, give birth to it, and she's literally stuck with it, you know? And it's just so much easier for us to just walk out, go hop a flight somewhere, go get on the 18-wheeler, drive over the country, or take a job somewhere in another state, And then, how my little man doing, and whoop de whoop. And like, I get it. Things happen, but things happened in my life too. Things happened with AT too. He could have left it. I'm pretty sure there was a number of times where things went on before his daughter even got here, where it was just his son. And he could have made the decision to be like, yeah, we just gonna co-parent. I picked the little nigga up when I see him. I seen you some money. Like, I'm out of here. You know what I'm saying? But it's a decision. Like, it's a decision being made every day on the man's part to stay. You know what I'm saying? And not so much be committed to that woman as you are committed to the family. You committed to yourself. Because I feel like it, in the cases where a man is willing to just because he mad at the female or something, you gonna leave the whole kid, nigga? Like, you gonna leave your whole son, bro. And in those cases, that's a decision. You made a decision.
Happen a lot too.
It happens a lot. And it's easy.
It's an easy way out.
Yeah, it's an easy way out, bro. And but yeah, I just feel like it's a decision being made, man. And you gotta you owe it to yourself and you owe it to the kids, to be there. And it's hard to be that type of parent that we've talked about throughout the whole podcast of being present and paying attention. It's hard to do that when you don't even see them.
It's hard to be a good person. So something make it seem like it's hard to be a good person, but I don't think it is. And I think what y'all said is true, where I think what I was blessed with was to know good people. They might not be perfect people, but the people I do mess with, they have a moral compass where I can align with at the end of the day.
For sure.
That's very important. But I think I'm ending right here, guys. Any last words?
Hey, man, y'all boys, man, make sure y'all in y'all kids' life, man, since we even talking about that. Man, I'm tired of seeing,
for sure,
you know what I'm saying, people posting their kids and ain't nowhere around them, bro. Like, come on, bro. Come on, bro. These kids need us first and foremost. Yeah. If we being honest, we the better of the two parents when it comes to raising and disciplining kids, bro, because we are the ones that do it with logic. You know what I'm saying? We have that sternness behind it, bro. We not so emotional as the mothers would. And I'm not blaming the mothers. That's their nurturing side.
Right.
So, man, especially my black fellas out here, my black man, make sure we there, bro. Yep. I ain't saying you gotta be with the mama, but don't be out here just, getting pictures sent to your phone and posting
straight
them.
Up.
Yeah. You ain't seen your kid in a month or two, bro. Yeah. Now, if you got one of them crazy baby mamas who keeping you from your kids, that's one of them situations. But if she not keeping you from your kid and you can help it, bro, like, you need to be around them babies, man.
Kids need their fathers.
They need us, man. Straight
kids
up,
need
bro.
Their fathers, man. I think it'll be hard to top what AT said, so I just double down on it. Yeah. Take care of your kids.
Take care of them, man.
Take care of your kids. And take care of their mama, too. Straight up. And like he said, you don't have to live with them. Take care of them kids, man, and take care of their mamas. And if you ain't got enough money to take care of all of them, then don't have them.
Don't have them, straight up.
Straight up.
Straight up. Strap it up, man. If you can't do it, come on, man.
Real talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, Trav, we'll end with that, bro. Take care of them kids, man.
I just want to thank y'all, man, Amon and Arian, for blessing the podcast again.
Yes, sir.
I really appreciate you guys coming through.
Already, bro.
It's your boy, Trader Realist. And like my boys say, man, you got a decision, so make the right one. Oh. It's your boy, Trader Realist. Peace. I like that, man.
That was dope, bro.
Yeah, that's dope. I
like that. Thank you for watching the video. If you like what you saw, please subscribe, like, comment, and share. We have similar videos above. For exclusive content, please follow our Patreon, which is patreon.com/BearviewMedia. See you next time. Peace.